Let's continue with our sample graphic here. I'm going to open up Layers. Remember that F7 is the keyboard shortcut to reveal and hide those layers. So you can see I have added another layer here with green circle. These eyeballs next to the layer will actually hide or reveal that layer. Pretty handy. You can also click and drag to reveal them all at once. In addition to the eyes on this side, the visibility, we can also select everything on these layers all at the same time by clicking on these buttons here. So you can see that I've got all 4 of the lines that make up that X. If I click this little arrow, you can see the individual lines that made up the X on that layer. You can even select an individual line by clicking here. I want to show you this, the direct selection tool, because every line here is made up of 2 anchor points and the path that goes between them. With the direct select tool, you can click once and then click and drag on that anchor point, and you can reposition it after it's been drawn. That's what makes Illustrator so powerful. You don't have to get it perfectly placed the first time. We also have anchors on these circles, except that it's a closed path. You can see these 4 anchors, and these can also be selected and adjusted. Now you don't want to try and put these back to where they were. Instead, use your Control-Z undo to make sure that it's back to being a perfect circle. So in addition to making these selections and the layers here, I want to show you about the fill. This is where you can see the fill and the stroke. And right now, the fill for our yellow circle is set to no fill. That's right here. We can also make it a solid by clicking here, and you can see that the lines that make up the X have disappeared, but these are still visible because they're above the yellow layer, so the white isn't wiping them out, just what's underneath it. We can also do a gradient fill. Gradients are changing from one color to another, in this case just a simple linear gradient of white to black. Now these are circles, so we're going to make more sense out of this by using a radial gradient. And you can see that these are color stops and they can be moved around. So as you can see, the white is on the screen longer and then it gets darker towards the very edge. Let's go ahead and choose some yellow colors for this. If I double click on a color stop and it's from this black to white gradient, then we may need to select a color from these swatches. I'm going to click the yellow color here, and then I'm going to double click on the ending stop, and I don't really have a darker yellow, but I'm just going to pick anything and then go to my color chooser, and you can see that I can pick a darker yellow for the very edge. Now this doesn't allow for a lot of precision, so many times I'll come up here to my color and then I can make this larger so I can be very precise in my selection of a dark yellow. Going back to this gradient tool, I'm going to bring this over just a little bit more, because otherwise when I fill in this red, it's going to hide the gradient. Now if I go back to my regular selection tool and come back to select, you'll notice I don't have my control bar at the top. Sometimes that goes away. I'm going to go to Window and turn it back on. Now I've got in the upper left hand corner the fill and the stroke. This is another place where you can make those changes. And if I just fill this in with a solid red color, you can see it fill in right there. Now I want it to be a gradient, and right now it's remembering the yellow gradient, and so I want to go in and change these to red. So let me just pick a nice bright red here, and for my ending color I can pick a darker red. Now it's kind of hard to see here, so sometimes we'll go up to this and we might have a way of just darkening that up so it's nice and dark around the edges. Let me show you another place where you can get fills and other colors right here. If I have this blue one selected, you can see it just has a blue stroke around it, and I want to look at some of these. I can pick a Premade Gradient from the swatches. Now what I really want to show you is this, the Libraries menu, because there are a lot of other colors that have already been set up as groups. For example, here under Art History, I can pick all the colors that were available to artists in the Middle Ages. I can even just cycle through these different ones and see these are colors associated with prehistory. So if we wanted to have something that looked like prehistoric cave paintings, you could totally choose colors that were made by grinding up different ores and then painting on the walls. There's all sorts of sets of colors here, even color books. These are pre-made sets of colors that have specific names depending on the manufacturer of the oil painting or the pastel colors or whatever. For textiles, this is extremely important for all manner of artists, and you can see that there are many, many different ways of selecting all these colors. In addition to that, we also have one here called gradients and a whole nother set of gradients. For example, this is the skin tones set of gradients. So if you're drawing people and you want them to look realistic, here you go. Here's all the colors of the people on Earth. You can also see things like different skies. These would be for sunsets and sunrises, stone and brick. I think you get the idea that there are a lot of things that Illustrator has built in to help you have colors that look pretty realistic. I'm going to go ahead and close that and change this to a blue color. Pick a bright blue and a darker blue. And then don't forget to bring this gradient stop close to the other one so that I can see this is the midpoint between them. Now you can have any colors that you like as long as you remember to change the names of them over here. And again, if one of them disappears, you can rearrange the order. If I put this red circle above the blue one, I cannot see the blue one any longer. So you can also, if these accidentally get mixed together, you can create a new layer and then move the red one. Oh, it can get a little tricky here. Rearranging these layers, rename it to blue, and then this one to red, as long as you stay organized. And then carefully moving this one up above. Actually, green circle is going to be my smallest one. That would be the last one to fill in. So let me do that one real quick. I'm going to select my green circle, select a bright green, and then for my gradient, if I want that to be a gradient, let me select that again, gradient, and pick my colors again. So go to my swatches, bright green, and then a dark green, and make sure that that color stop is visible at the end. So last thing here is, since we're going to be transforming this into an emoji, I can Control A, select all, and make all of the strokes black. Now the lines that are here were pretty thick in order to have them be triangular. So let me go ahead and just choose my circles. I'm going to hold down Shift, select all my circles, and then I'm going to change that stroke to not be quite so thick. So I've got nice black lines here. And the idea behind these gradients is no matter how close we zoom in, they have a nice smooth transition from one color to the next. So that's what we're looking for this sample graphic to be turned in.